On January 5th, 2024, Alaska Airlines Flight 1282, carrying 171 passengers and 6 crew members, departed Portland, Oregon, bound for Ontario, California. The 737 MAX 9 flying that route was brand new, having been delivered to Alaska Airlines quite recently on October 31st, 2023. However, 7 minutes after takeoff, at which time the aircraft had climbed to an altitude of about 16,000 feet, a deactivated emergency door blew off mid-air, leaving a gaping hole in the fuselage of the aircraft aft of the wing. Passengers have described the moment as explosive, as the sheer force of the incident ripped a child's shirt off. Oxygen masks were deployed in response to rapid cabin depressurization, and the plane quickly descended to 10,000 feet after the pilot declared an emergency. The aircraft then circled back and landed at Portland a mere 20 minutes after it departed. Fortunately, all the passengers survived and no major injuries were sustained. The seat in the vicinity of the missing chunk of the aircraft was reported to be damaged, but thankfully no one was sitting there. Experts have warned that if passengers close by had not fastened their seatbelts, they could have disappeared out the window. In response to the incident, the FAA has ordered the grounding of all 171 737 MAX 9s in the United States once again. The last time this happened was back in 2019, following the fatal crashes of the 737 MAX aircraft in Indonesia and Ethiopia that killed over 300 passengers. The modern, fuel-efficient engines that power the 737 MAX were just too big for its ancient airframe, resulting in the plane pitching upward. To counter this, Boeing installed software called MCAS to pitch the nose down. But the problem with that was that MCAS relied on a single sensor and had the power to override pilot commands. So if the sensor gave a false reading, MCAS could make the plane pitch down when it was not supposed to, which was what led to both crashes. However, pilots weren't aware of MCAS because Boeing didn't tell them. And even in the initial aftermath of the crashes, Boeing pointed to pilot error despite being aware of MCAS and its potential issues. This deteriorated people's trust in Boeing, resulting in the aircraft maker losing an estimated $20 billion due to the 737 MAX crashes and subsequent groundings. And now, this latest incident comes less than a week after Boeing alerted airlines to inspect loose bolts in the rudder control system, raising fresh concerns over Boeing's production and safety standards. So, what happens next? As of January 6, 2024, most MAX 9 planes operated by U.S. airlines or flying over U.S. airspace are currently out of service and undergoing inspections, which typically take between 4 to 8 hours. It's important to note that unlike last time, the smaller, more commonly used 737 MAX 8 remains unaffected by the grounding. Nonetheless, it's already impacting air travel, with Alaska Airlines alone canceling over 160 flights so far. If no major issues are found, the inspections are expected to be completed in the next few days, clearing all MAX 9s to fly once again. In the meantime, the FAA and National Transport Safety Board, along with the technical team sent by Boeing, are investigating what exactly caused this particular incident. But perhaps something that won't go away as easily is the fresh stain on the 737 MAX's already tarnished reputation. Because of the MAX's troublesome history, this incident is getting a lot more attention from the media than it otherwise would. Even the FAA, which waited until 2 fatal crashes to do anything about the MAX last time, temporarily grounding the planes this early on speaks volumes about the aircraft's trustworthiness. Distrust in the MAX over how Boeing concealed the MCAS from pilots could lead people to wonder what else they may be hiding about the aircraft. Of course, it's likely that the flight panel blowing off is a result of nothing more than an issue with the particular airplane in question, and that the 737 MAX is in fact one of the safest aircraft because of how much scrutiny it faced in the aftermath of the crashes. Even if that's the case, the incident would still inevitably hurt Boeing, as airlines know pretty well that these kinds of incidents play into passengers' worst fears. So this incident putting Boeing in the spotlight could definitely disincentivize potential MAX customers who might instead opt for A320neos, or in the case of non-Western carriers, perhaps even the COMAC C919. Not only would this hurt MAX sales, but it could also adversely affect Boeing in other ways. You see, this is the exact sort of incident that Boeing hoped would not happen this year, so they could focus on more important things, such as getting type certification for the MAX 7 and 10, as well as the 777X. But less than a week into 2024, they already have other issues to deal with. At any rate, the fate of the 737 MAX hangs in uncertainty once again, and even if no major issues are found, it would take a while before passengers are convinced that the aircraft is truly safe to fly. Comment down below what you think of the MAX's situation, and as always, be sure to subscribe for more aviation content.